Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Idawati binti Muhammad Inzai. So this is my participation for the Selangor Membaca competition for Pertandingan Resensi Buku. So I'm joining the English adult category. Okay, so the book that I'm going to be reviewing in this video is called Sains Untuk Manusia. Sains Untuk Manusia. This book is written by Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Professor Zulkifli Abdul Razak. It's published by IIUM Press as well as majalah Sains.com. Okay. So how did I know about this book? So I know about this book from a friend. The sale is not very public, probably not even sold in well-known bookstores as far as I know. So I was very intrigued and attracted to the title, yeah, because this is an issue. Science and humans is an issue that has always been playing in my mind. And as an academician as well in the field of engineering, the terms like fourth industrial revolution, RI4, marketability, employability of students based on the industry needs. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So all these terms have always been mentioned and brought out when we want to offer new programs, when we want to revise curriculum, when we want to revise our syllabus, come up with new plan. So, but personally, I feel like all these are too hyped, whereas the issues of spirituality and humanity are rarely touched upon, while the gap between science and humanity is becoming bigger and bigger. So when I look at the first page of this book, I think I knew right away that this book answered all the questions and doubts in my heart. So I haven't nodded this frequent when I read a book. This is the first time when I read the book. At every paragraph, at every page, I feel like nodding to each statement of the writer to acknowledge that I agree with what the writer writes in this book. So the author, who is also the rector of International Islamic University Malaysia, IIUM, he managed to explore various aspects of the relationship between science as well as human, which are rarely discussed in public. Also from this book, I know that apparently RI4 started to get attention during the World Economic Forum in Davos in 2016. But at the same time, United Nations has launched a work known as Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which include 8 main pillars. So these 8 pillars are actually more comprehensive and it cover many aspects of life, such as poverty eradication, health, and education. But for some reason, RI4 or IR 4.0 is welcome more and it is being promoted widely at various levels and at official events in Malaysia. So the author voiced out his concern about the hasty attitude of when we try to pursue RI4 while the basic needs such as electricity has not been yet been met by some of the places. So the author argues that the philosophy of national education philosophy is more equivalent and more parallel or in line with the UNESCO's perspective through the 4 pillars of learning. So learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. So in this case, the compatibility between RI4 and FPK is questionable because the effect of RI4 is different from the effect of national education philosophy. So RI4 and national education philosophy seem it's like it seems like they don't really match together. RI4 is more driven by the economic interests as well as the material gains, But in fact, the need for the application of spiritual elements into science, even though they have been discussed, but it's still not popular, it's not generally accepted. Just like when the theory of science used to be rejected by the church institutions, the theory of science now has also become quite dogmatic because it's difficult for us to dispute the theory of science. So the recognition of scientific achievements is also now more likely to be oriented towards a Western perspective that is somewhat materialistic. Humans need to master science, not science drives humans. We cannot let ourselves be controlled by science. Artificial intelligence and the greatness of machines, for example, they are so admired, but actually the creator of AI and machines are human. AI operates on the basis of algorithms compared to humans, where we have the privilege of freedom of thought as well as ethical and humanitarian considerations. So, in addition to explaining the need for science to come out of its comfort zone of the academic and industrial world and to reach out to community, the author also touches on the importance of blessings or barakah through science. So, barakah means we return to human nature and also includes the purification of soul. So we can see that starting last year, when COVID-19 pandemic um, struck the world, so it's actually the evidence that RI4 was also affected by the emergence of new norms of life. So the humanity actually prevails. Actually, at the end of the day, humanity will prevail. So I really do believe that this book should be read by academics, educators, policymakers, especially. But this book can be read by everyone, yeah, because we human we cannot avoid science now. Science is part of our life, but we human should be the controller of science and technology. So the balance between the spiritual and physical is very important so that we can create a sustainable, so that the science that we produce does not damage the nature. Okay, so that's all from me. That's what I think about this book. Hope you will look for this book. So thank you for watching.